my name is Isai of Los Angeles, and this is me as an artist. I primarily work in painting, sculpture, ceramic, and photography. My most recent work has been in painting with acrylic on traditional canvas. I also use a method known as photo transfer, which includes the process of using laser print images to transfer actual images onto the surface. Recently, I've just been focusing on painting with acrylic on canvas. I have a tendency to use this motif that's been included in a lot of my work, or that I include in a lot of my work, and that is a picture of myself when I was a kid standing in a driveway of an apartment my family and I used to live in. And I use this image in many different ways, where sometimes I'll use just a silhouette, sometimes I'll use the entire image itself as a photo transfer in different parts of the painting, whether it's in a picture frame or as a sticker posted onto something. And I try to incorporate it in a way where it's kind of blends into the painting and not just kind of sticks out. I try to incorporate it in ways that it seems suitable. For my last series, I chose a specific color to paint the entire background of all these paintings. The texture that this color provided, I use it specifically because the translucency reminded me of what backdrops looked like in the mid-2000s when your aunt would go to the mall and take a picture in this photo booth, and they had these really cool backdrops. So I chose this paint because it's the closest paint I came across that allowed me to create that texture and this softness and this translucency that I couldn't acquire with a lot of other different colors. So I chose that because they were portrait paintings. I've pretty much grown up and have lived in South Central the majority of my life because my parents opened their dry cleaning business here in 2007. So a lot of what I have lived and learned has came from living in South Central, and a lot of people have specific imagery attached to what it is, but to me it's become completely different. It's what I wake up to, it's what I go to sleep with, and a lot of the people I meet are business owners and people who live in South Central who admire South Central for what it is. So a lot of that I incorporate into my paintings. It's basically what I see and what I live. A lot of my childhood, actually, my parents didn't want me going to schools here in South Central. They wanted me to go to better schools outside of the neighborhood, and I did that. So I was able to see a lot of what South Central was on my way to school and back. So I would take a bus from South Central to the city of Carson, or to the city of West Hollywood, or to the city of Venice. And I was able to see this shift in culture that, passing Western or Crenshaw, heading into Prairie, or heading north and passing Martin Luther King and Exposition Boulevard, where the scene completely changes and the people change. And a lot of that is what shaped what my work kind of entails and what I'm trying to portray in my work. The things that stand out the most are the people's values. I noticed that a lot of people in the community of South Central, especially seen in business owners of South Central, is a lot of their values come from what they own and their families. A lot of the stuff for people in South Central isn't so much about wealth. It's a lot of it is invested into their community and making a living for themselves and their family, where people outside of South Central aren't much invested into that at all. A lot of people have problems in their family, and I noticed that a lot of it is commercialized and it's completely centered around commercial culture once you head out of South Central. And that's what I ultimately bring back with me, where I see a lot of branding. I see a lot of what shapes the cities on the outside of South Central. And in South Central, we get a lot of, there's people who make, their own custom signs, and there's people who make, to just save a little money. And that's all this handmade stuff is a lot more valuable to me than all this commercialized and fabricated stuff that you see outside. That might look nicer to some people, but to me, at the end of the day, handmade poster sign with a marker outside of a business promoting 50% off of their goods is a lot more valuable and more eye-catching to me than a sign elsewhere. My ultimate goal as an artist is to redefine and reshape the narrative of a community that's constantly overlooked, focusing on people who both live and work in South Central, and creating an acknowledgement for what their values might be. And doing this through visual art, I believe, creates a dialogue and a discussion around this topic. As a young artist, I was very focused on the way my art looked. I was focused on the lines and the shapes I drew, and this precision that I had, that I knew I had in replicating things I saw on TV. And a lot of it was focused on these fundamentals, but I wasn't thinking so much about how I can use this to create something new with it, how I can use it to create discussion around specific topics, how I can use these fundamentals to create what it is that I wanted to create. And that's the biggest evolution, I think, that came from being a young artist to now, is mentally thinking about what it is that I wanted to create, how I take these fundamentals and begin making work that had a purpose that was close to me, to create discussion about what it is that I wanted to focus on, instead of thinking about exactly how my work would ultimately end up looking like. Well, really what shaped the way I saw art and what kind of led me to this evolution of transforming my art from what might be seen in pop culture to something that's close to me was basically going out to art galleries and seeing works by people who had a specific interest in something close to them as well. Kind of portraying these specific topics and kind of centered around a specific idea or concept. And I was able to take what I learned and create my own topic, my own idea, and create work that was very personal to me. I began to notice that the more personal a work was to an artist, and the more relatable it was to specific individuals and people who viewed this art, the stronger the work portrayed itself. I currently work as an art handler, and I've created good relationships with different artists and galleries that I've worked with. And I plan to continue these relationships to hopefully expand and get opportunities to exhibit my own work. I also plan to continue my art education and hopefully receive an MFA to later teach art at a higher education institution. As far as my work goes, I plan on continuing the relationship I have with the community I live in, and to continue sharing and reshaping these narratives that people have for the community of South Central. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of my work, follow me on Instagram at Isai of Los Angeles. I am Isai of Los Angeles, and this is me as an artist. Thank you for watching. You threw me off with your finger. Okay. Isai of Los Angeles. My name is Isai of Los Angeles. Hey, Ryobi, sponsor me. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of my work, follow me on Instagram at Isai of Los Angeles. My name is Isai of Los Angeles. Thanks. Fuck.
And this is me as an artist.
Oh, that's right. Damn.